Our top focus story is an exclusive report from inside a Rohingya terror training camp. These are images accessed exclusively by India Today. Rohingya terrorists hurling abuses, waving modern assault rifles, swearing to launch a bloody revenge attack, threatening to wage what they call is a holy war. The question is, are these Rohingya terrorists, and can one differentiate between a terrorist who may not be armed but may act as a sleeper cell, pose as a refugee and try and sneak in? I want to cut across to India Today's Manogya Loiwal, who's accessed these images exclusively for India Today. Manogya, you've accessed these images through your sources. What more can you tell us about these images and what are intelligence agencies making of them?
Well, two things are confirmed with these images: that the concern of Government of India of a possible internal threat to the country has been reiterated with the kind of swearing these Rohingya militants are doing. The Rohingya Arakan militant army has also sworn that they will not spare anyone, and this comes at a time, the video has been recorded last month post the Rohingya attacks, and these militants are claiming and stating that they would hit back with bigger and more vengeance. This is not only the fact that these are inside the Rohingya terror camps in Myanmar and various locations, but the fact that they're also trying to spread their tentacles across the countries. Now that could be in any form, in any format and in any way. This could be possibly by preparing themselves to be at hideouts. This could be a possibility that these are also trying to hide themselves by camouflaging their identity and then entering various countries that could be possibly India too. The way they are swearing in and the way they are promising and assuring that they would come back with a vengeance is what is perturbing, disturbing, and of course a big eye-opener too.
This indeed is an eye-opener. Manogya Loiwal with their exclusive report on India Today. Manogya, stay on with me. Let's now play out the report that India Today's Manogya Loiwal is getting us. So are these Rohingyas to be treated as refugees or terrorists? There's a raging debate across the country. For the first time, India Today gets you evidence of a group of armed, gun-wielding suspected terrorists inside Myanmar. They're threatening to wage war against the Myanmar army. The question is, who provided them with these sophisticated weapons? Who's training these armed groups? And is there merit in Bangladesh intelligence agencies? They're saying that some of these terrorists could actually be sleeper cells. They could infiltrate either into Bangladesh or even India, posing as refugees and then strike. Manogya Loiwal brings us this exclusive report from an undisclosed Rohingya terrorist training camp in the forests of Myanmar.
बिल्कुल कायम होता नदियों इंशाल्लाह तो मैं इंशाल्लाह आ रहा इस आलम को ना बिल्कुल भरपूर अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह भरपूर मज़ामत करें इंशाल्लाह जड़ा तो यार तो मज़ामत करें अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बहन ना अल्लाह बिशुद्ध ज़रार मैं तमाम रोहिंग्या कौमरा होती की बहन रोहिंग्या तकबीर रोहिंग्या के मुजाहिदीन रोहिंग्या के मुस्लिमीन तकबीर रोहिंग्या के मुजाहिदीन रोहिंग्या के मुस्लिमीन.
Slogans supporting terror, hurling abuses and swearing in the name of religion to fight their persecution by the Myanmar army. India Today has accessed an exclusive video of the Rohingya Salvation Army calling for an armed uprising.
These militants are swearing not only in the name of religion but also swearing that they would take revenge by attacking and conducting more attacks in days to come. The threat perception that has been lying high seems to be getting higher with every passing day.
In the video, the Rohingya army is seen trudging through a forest, giving out venomous threats.
आरा लखन मरे जिंदगी जाने को ले मुसलमान फरमान हम लोग बोला बोले रहा है और फाके बहन आरा अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ने लिखी गई अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ने लिखी इंशाल्लाह तुम इंशाल्लाह سالم كل إن شاء الله ثم إن شاء الله بالكل كان يموتون اليوم إن شاء الله ثم إن شاء الله أرى سالم كل بالفور برفور الحمد لله برفور نظام الدرير إن شاء الله جرات طير هذا نظام الدرير الحمد لله بين نار الله بشدة قرار تمام روهينجا قبرة ديكي بين ونرى الدورة صدرت نيل زباي الدورة صدرت تون ध्यान ले फारहान नैल زباي نرى سالم كل تدي مسلمان فارم مرو هندي دايلو نرى مقبرة مرو هندو مقبرة تلا دهلا إن شاء الله ثم إن شاء الله أركان زميلتون كافر قل نرتاح تنظيم إن شاء الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته تكبير 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 روهينجا كان مجاهدين روهينجا كان مسلمين.
The video shot in an undisclosed location in Myanmar shows how heavily armed the Rohingya army is. On Monday, the Rohingya Salvation Army tweeted that their one-month temporary ceasefire ends at midnight of 9th October. The emergence of a new video full of threats does not help the case of Rohingya refugees, particularly in India, which wants to deport them, citing security issues.
Last month, the government of India had filed an affidavit in Supreme Court stating that allowing Rohingyas into the country would be compromising with the security of the nation too. These videos just reiterate on what the government of India has stated. The fact that the threat perception would go higher, and these militants do not believe in anything but conducting more mayhem. And this, of course, is just the tip of the iceberg. With Bureau Inputs, this is Manogya Loiwal in Kolkata for India Today.
Lieutenant General B.S. Jaswal is former Army Commander, Northern Command. He joins me on the broadcast. Also with me is my colleague Manogya Loiwal. General Jaswal, the intelligence agencies in Bangladesh fear that at least some radicalized elements and terrorists may try and sneak in with the refugees. They could either then radicalize more youth or take advantage of their weapons training and strike. Is that a genuine apprehension, General?
I totally agree about the apprehension. I'm not so worried about a couple of terrorists coming in. But what is more important as far as I'm concerned is the potential of these refugees. What can they do? Go back in history. In 50s and 60s, the ARSA, they led Mujahid attacks against the Myanmarese army, at that time Burmese army. Thereafter, they have participated in Afghanistan at the behest of ISI against the Russians, and some of them in Kashmir. They've also been leading forays from Bangladesh during Begum Khalida's time into Myanmar. So they have the potential. Now look at the hate coefficient in the ARSA and the Rohingyas. 22 people have been arrested in Bangladesh who were involved in the massacre of Hindus. And I personally feel it's going to create a lot of social crisis in India, because posters have already, billboards have already come up in J&K, in Jammu, where the Panthers party go back. 5,500 people are estimated to be in Jammu. Now, if it starts off an ethnic clash, can we control it thereafter?
And worse, what we see is mobilization in the name of religion. There are rallies being taken out in support of refugees, where no one is talking about the genuine fear or apprehension of terrorists trying to sneak in as refugees, posing as refugees, and they could then try and vitiate the environment. For some reason, nobody appears to be even discussing that amongst people in our own country. And Manogya, you've traveled to Bangladesh, you've traveled to some of this region. Tell us what Bangladeshi officials have been telling you, the apprehension that they are dealing with, especially in the case of 22 detentions that have now taken place.
Well, I could put it on record that even the Minister of State of External Affairs, Shahryar Alam, and the Home Minister, Asaduzzaman Khan, all have been extremely worried. And we spoke to them and they considered and confirmed exclusively to us that yes, they were confirmed and concerned about the threat perceptions that were possible to their country also. But this was a humanitarian crisis that they were dealing with, and that's the reason why they were allowing lakhs of people into their country. The fact that they have segregated the area, they are now trying to get a detailed report on who have come in, but the fact that there are possibilities of threat perceptions cannot be ignored has been reiterated by Bangladesh, by India and the other nations also surrounding the countries. The fact that these youth could be mobilized and radicalized for malified intentions is something that cannot be ignored by any of the countries, and many of the people who've been raising voice for them are yet to understand that.
And the fact remains, as you rightly point out, Manogya and General Jaswal, when you look at the weapons they carry, they're carrying very sophisticated assault rifles. They hold them very professionally, General Jaswal. The question would be, where are they getting these weapons? Where are they getting ammunition? And how are they targeting security forces, whether in Myanmar or the apprehension that they could then target security forces elsewhere, sir?
There is no doubt ISI has been in contact with them, and ISI does have cells in Bangladesh and of course in Myanmar too. They have been arming these people, but I just want to diversify myself.
Okay.
All these pseudo-liberals who have been talking about this humanitarian grounds, etc., let me tell you, security of the country comes first always and every time, rather than our moral obligations which are there. Look at what happened. Look at what happened when the Bangladeshis came into Assam. There is going to be a process of demographic inversion in Assam by 2020, when the Hindu population is going to become a minority population.
Yes.
Why are the Bodos clashing with the Muslims in the North Bank? Because they've started intruding into their land. And last of all, I like the line what Mr. Sushant Sareen had written. He said, verse to that effect, these people are coming out here, they are highly susceptible to any radicalization because they want some kind of moorings out here, and people can exploit them, and thereafter who's going to suffer? We Indians are going to suffer. So therefore we cannot compromise our security on this kind of humanitarian ground and allow them to come. No way. They'll be used as cannon fodder by these radicals.
Fair point you make there, General. Fair point you make there.
About it.
Manogya Loiwal, for the moment, Manogya Loiwal and General Jaswal, many thanks for joining me. Stellar work done by Manogya Loiwal there. Many thanks for joining me.